If you ask a botanist what a tomato is, they will tell you it's a berry. Ask a chef, and they will say it's a savory vegetable. But if you ask a customs lawyer, the answer gets a lot more complicated. When thousands of tons of produce cross international borders every day, the specific word printed on the shipping manifest carries enormous weight. We grow up learning to sort our food into neat little bins. Fruits are the sweet ones, vegetables are the savory ones. But those bins don't actually exist in nature. They are human inventions, drawn and redrawn depending on who is making the rules. How we classify a single crop dictates billions of dollars in international trade, shapes federal tax codes, and rewrites national dietary guidelines. Look through the lens of strict biology, and the rules are entirely rigid. A fruit is exclusively the mature ovary of a flowering plant that contains its seeds. That is the only requirement. By that biological standard, an avocado is a fruit.
So is a pumpkin. Bell peppers, jalapenos, cucumbers, and olives are all technically fruits. This diagram illustrates plant biology. Separate the reproductive ovaries and seeds, and everything left is the vegetative body. When eating carrots, we eat roots. Celery provides stems. With lettuce, we consume the leaves. In the scientific community, the word vegetable has no biological meaning. It is simply a convenient catch-all term we use for any non-reproductive plant part we happen to eat. Chefs do not care about plant reproduction. In the kitchen, ingredients are sorted based entirely on how they taste and how they can be used on a menu. Culinary fruits generally have sweet or tart flavor profiles, making them perfect for juices, snacks, and baked goods. Culinary vegetables lean toward the milder, bitter, or savory side, serving as the foundation for soups, stews, and main courses. This side-by-side comparison shows the nutritional differences driving flavors. Apples contain higher natural sugar and calorie density, while leafy vegetables pack fiber and water. These compositions dictate digestion. Sugars provide rapid energy, while dense structural fibers break down slowly. The kitchen abandons the dictionary entirely because a chef's priority is human biological utility, nourishing the body and building a balanced dish, rather than preserving botanical accuracy. The distinction between the dictionary and the kitchen became a serious legal problem in the United States with the Tariff Act of 1883. Congress imposed a new tax on imported vegetables, but deliberately left imported fruits tax-exempt. John Nix operated a highly successful produce company, bringing shipments from warmer climates into New York Harbor. Because of this new law, he suddenly had to pay heavy taxes on his imported tomatoes, eating directly into his profits. Nix sued the pork collector to get his money back, kicking off a decade-long legal battle that reached the Supreme Court in 1893. During the trial, lawyers literally stood before the bench and read dictionary definitions out loud, arguing that because tomatoes contain seeds, they were biologically fruits and therefore exempt from the tax. The justices ruled unanimously against Nix. Justice Horace Gray acknowledged the scientific truth of the tomato's biology, but declared that in matters of trade and commerce, the ordinary, everyday meaning of words must be applied over scientific definitions. The decision established a permanent legal precedent. When federal tax revenue is on the line, the law prioritizes public perception and culinary use, completely overriding objective scientific reality. Today, that legal strategy is still used across the globe. Governments routinely manipulate the semantics of food to tightly control their supply chains and protect domestic industries. In Europe, the legal definitions get even stranger. Under a 2001 directive regulating the sale of jams and marmalades, the European Union legally classifies tomatoes, rhubarb, sweet potatoes, and carrots as fruits. By rewriting the biological rules on paper, European regulators ensure that products like carrot jam can be legally sold and traded without violating strict regional standards for minimum fruit content. Meanwhile, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency lumps apples, onions, and potatoes into the exact same regulatory grouping. They bypass the botanical debate entirely, organizing these specific crops together simply because they require similar cross-border inspection certificates and quality grades. In modern global commerce, a plant's official category rarely reflects its biology. It is dictated entirely by economic protectionism, tariff laws, and bureaucratic border regulation. The dividing line between a fruit and a vegetable is an illusion. It simply does not exist in the natural world. Yet each of our three definitions serves a highly practical purpose.
Science requires precise language to track plant reproduction. Kitchens need a system to balance flavors on a plate. And governments rely on broad categories to regulate international trade and collect taxes. Regardless of what label we slap on it, the physical reality of the crop itself remains unchanged. The plant grows, ripens, and produces nutrients completely indifferent to our legal codes or culinary debates. Major dietary guidelines, like those from the American Heart Association, recommend eating a combined 4.5 cups of both every single day. For your heart and your digestion, the semantic difference is entirely meaningless. The ultimate goal isn't figuring out how to perfectly classify whether a sweet potato is a root or a berry. It is simply to step back, look past the labels, and consume a diverse, colorful mix of nature's outputs.